So I've been thinking lately, like, why is mental illness so prevalent in modern Western societies? You wouldn't think it would be that way, considering we've been evolving on this planet for like half a million years. That's debatable. That's what I believe. Some people say it's less time. Um, no one knows for sure. They act like they know everything. They know very little. Um, most information is being kept from us, being hidden from us. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is why is everyone so nuts? It's like I I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but I was like coming up with so many reasons. I'm like, there's a thousand reasons. There's greed, and there's just I do believe we've been dumbed down quite a bit. I mean, look at the societies we live in. You can hear just the constant traffic behind me. There's no peace in these cities, and I'm not even in a city. I'm in Clearwater, which is, you know, it's somewhere between a town and a city. But it's just it's the way everything looks. It's the way we're taught in school. Ye In my opinion, and this isn't even my opinion, this is a fact. It's just that most people don't realize it, but we're in enemy territory. I've said it before, I'm saying it again. The people who control the world are the enemy. That's fact. They mess with us in a billion different ways to keep us all broke and powerless. And it's designed that way. And the reason it is designed that way is so they can keep all the power and riches and wealth to themselves. I mean, just from a logical standpoint, you got people flying around in private jets, and then you got other people struggling to maintain a roof over their heads. It's like, how do you, you can't justify that to any sane, logical person. There's no justifying it. Are those people, do they have magical abilities or something? No. What they do have is 9 times out of 10, they're willing to screw everyone else over to have more than what they need. It's really that simple. Even if I had $10 billion, I'm not sure I'd be flying around in private jets. I can't say for sure. I don't know. But I can tell you one thing: I would not have some big ridiculous mansion to live in unless I had 100 people to house. You know what I mean? Why would I want? It just it's a you got to be, in my opinion, you got to be kind of stupid to even want that, because it's like anyone who's got it must realize that it's all just going to waste anyway. Like Mike Tyson used to have that, I don't know, some $50 million mansion in Connecticut, and he sold it because the whole thing was just deteriorating. It was like he was sitting in like one little part of it, and the rest of it was just going to shit. And he was like, "What the hell's the point in this?" You know what I mean? Um, and I knew people growing up that were rich that had mansions, and what I noticed is that they spent all their time in the kitchen and living room. So they have this big, huge mansion, but no one ever goes in any of it. You know what I mean? It's all just sitting there collecting dust. So it's a waste of resources. And I'm not saying we need to just go take everything from the rich, and that's not what I'm saying. I mean, what other people do means I don't care what they do with their money. Um, I'm just saying, like, we live in a crazy world, and why is everyone mentally ill? Well, I could list off a thousand reasons, but in my opinion, the root issue is fear. A lot of people are afraid. The people who are not mentally ill are not afraid. I feel pretty sane personally. I mean, you know, it's really a matter of opinion. Some people would say I'm crazy because I have done things that on the surface seem very illogical. I've turned down really easy, high paying jobs. Um, I don't regret doing that. Um, it's I know myself, you know what I mean? And if I'm spending 8, 9 hours a day doing things I don't want to do, even if you're paying me a lot of money to do it, what I'm going to end up doing is getting drugs and doing drugs all day so I can stand the job. And I'm like, well, I don't want to live that way. I'd rather be out on the street selling my drawings, doing something I want to do, doing something I don't mind doing, and making less money. So, um, is that sane or is that insane? I don't know. It's a matter of opinion. But, you know, a lot of people, they just have this fear underlying in the background of their lives, and that's going to lead to mental issues. So how do you cure it? How do you fix it? In my opinion, you got to really dig deep and be real honest with yourself, figure out exactly what it is you're afraid of, and you got to realize that the fear of it is worse than the thing itself. And I can tell you that from experience. I'm not saying being homeless is fun or easy, but I bet that it's not as bad as you think it is. It sucks, but you can adjust to anything. And if you're determined, absolutely determined, you'll you'll find a way out of it. Um, the only reason people end up on the street for so long is because they just accept it and they don't even care that much after a while. That's the real danger of being homeless. They stop even caring. They just adjust to it. I had that issue. I was sleeping like a baby out on the sidewalk. I got to a point where I didn't even care. Um, but another thing with me is I'm just not willing to spend the bulk of my income just to have a roof over my head. To me, that's slavery. And I refuse to do it. I'd rather live in a car, and have financial freedom. Um, there's upsides and downsides to everything. So some people would rather have a roof over their head and struggle with the money. But me personally, I'm the type where if I want to go spend 20, $30 on something real good to eat, I want to go do that. I don't want nothing restricting me from doing that. If I want to go buy a pair of shorts, I want to be able to do that. And I just, I'm willing to sacrifice some comfort and security to have more financial freedom. That's just how I am. There's a lot of downsides to it, but there's some upsides to it. And I'm trying to get to a point where I can afford both. You know what I mean? But so my point is, we live in such an insane world. Those, you know, all you, we're just being robbed constantly. But the thing is that the only reason they're able to control us the way they do is because a lot of us are living in fear and we don't even realize it. So, um, and there's plenty to be afraid of. You get pulled over by a cop and they say, "Oh, the cops kill all the black people." That they kill just as many white people and every other type of person. And it's because you're giving these people a license to kill, a loaded gun, and a badge, and telling them that they have authority over everyone else when realistically they don't. You know what I mean? I'm, I'm not going to sit here and fight the cops, but I don't recognize their authority over me. And, you know, I'll play along with it, but I don't accept it. It's against my free will. So they can answer to God in the next world. You know what I mean? So, but people don't realize that everyone's got this proverbial gun to their head. It's like if you don't do what they tell you to do, if go ahead and sit there and try to battle with the cops. You're going to end up either dead or in a cage. Everything's backed by violence in our societies, and it's it's not an outright threat, but it's there in the background. And then the other thing is, oh, you don't want to be a slave and sell your life for a few $100s a week? Well, then you can go sleep in the sewer and eat out of a dumpster. It's like there's this underlying threat, you know, and forcing everyone to do things they really don't want to do. And so I got to the point where I was like, fuck your threats. I'm not doing it no more. And so it costed me a lot in comfort and security, but I gained a lot in mental health. I'm just not afraid of being homeless anymore. I don't want to deal with it, but I'm not afraid of it. I know I'll be all right. It's a pain in the ass, but God, it's like every time I try to film a video, this guy with this little piece of shit motorcycle that sounds like a helicopter. Like, what the fuck? Fix your bike, bro. It's not supposed to sound that way, I don't think. The thing is, anyways, but it's a perfect example of there's just no peace in our societies. The only time you can get any peace is if you lock yourself away in some box that costs you the bulk of your income, and it's bullshit because, realistically, shelter should not be a hard thing to obtain, especially for an animal that's as intelligent and capable as mankind is. So, you know what I mean? But I, I so I guess the real cure for the whole mental illness thing is you got to figure out what it is that you're afraid of and realize that you shouldn't be afraid of it because whatever happens, you're going to be all right. And that's coming from someone who's dealt with everything that, absolute nightmare scenarios. You know what I mean? Um, if you're, you know, here's the thing. It's not hard to get what you want in life. What's hard is figuring out what it is that you want. So, if you really want to be like mentally fit, in my opinion, you got to figure out what you want and then devote everything into getting it. Now, a lot of people think they want just a bunch of money, but if you really think about it, that's not what you really want because if that's what you really wanted, you would have it. It's like if all I cared about was money, I'd be selling hard drugs and I'd be a violent lunatic gangster and I'd have a lot of money. But that's not what I want to be in life. And I know that that's going to lead me to a place I don't want to be. And so then there's, like Andrew Tate, you're always seeing him talking about. He tries to make it seem like being absolutely filthy rich is such a great thing, but I guarantee you, if he was being 100% honest, he would tell you that it is not all it's cracked up to be. It's actually not that different from being middle of the road. Once you got all your basic needs covered, food, shelter, transportation, it's like the rest of it is just temporary happiness that gets old fast. Like, do I want a $5 million Bugatti? No. There's things that cost $5 million that I'd much rather have than a Bugatti. I don't. I just, I'm not a race car driver. I don't. I don't care about that. A car is a car. I'd much rather have a really nice 4x4 truck. I want something that's actually capable and useful, not something that I can only use it to its fullest capabilities on a racetrack somewhere. You know what I mean? Sure, it'd be nice to have. If honestly, if you gave me a Bugatti, I'd sell it instantly. I'd rather have the money because there's so much other things I'd rather have than a Bugatti. You know what I mean? Um, and that's because I know that having nice, new, shiny, impressive things, it, it's it'll only make you happy for a short while. In the long run, you don't give a shit about those things. You know what I mean? It, another thing is I'm not a huge fan of attention. That's why I do stand up comedy, but that's why it's so hard for me to do it because I don't like I don't want everyone's attention. So I'd much rather have a real nice truck or Forerunner than a Bugatti. Give me a real nice, capable off-road vehicle. I'm much happier with that because to me that's a useful thing. Just in case the world went to shit, I'd have like, I'd be ready in my 4x4 with supplied up. That's what I really want is a really nice 4x4 truck stocked up with supplies and ready to be used as a shelter at any time because that's what I really want. Um, but I'm also, you know, I feel like I belong thousands of years ago. I don't belong in the modern world. That's I feel like a lot of us don't. This this whole thing is just it doesn't make any sense if you really look at it logically. And I mean logic just beyond what they've created around us. It's hard to explain, but if you really understood, you know, mankind overall, not just modern man, you'd understand that we live in the most ridiculous, upside down clown world insanity that it couldn't get much crazier than it is because if it did, it would lead to conflict. They've got us to the point where we've been pushed about as far as we can be. That's my opinion. That's why I'm kind of optimistic about the future because I feel like if they keep taking and not giving, they're going to lose it all. And that's the nature of things. We're peaceful by nature. Lucky for them, we're very peaceful. I think they've bred us that way. I think they kind of found a way to eliminate a lot of the people who would have caused conflict in this situation. But here's the other thing. Those people are always born again. There's no, you know, we are we are animals deep down, and sooner or later, you just you can't push them too far, and that's any bully. They may not know it consciously, but subconsciously, any bully knows I can't push this dude too far because if I do, he's gonna hurt me. And I don't care how physically weak or inept you may think you are, you're capable of doing a whole lot of damage if you want to. Now, I'm not saying you should, you certainly should not. But you got to realize that you're not some helpless little bunny rabbit. You are actually more like a wolf or a gorilla or a lion. You know what I mean? We're predators. We're the top of the food chain, We're not deer, we're wolves, So, they've got us thinking we're a bunch of deer, and they even got people trying to push the whole vegan thing on everyone, which, you're free to do what you want. But me personally, I like meat. I like to work out. I want to be physically strong. If you look at nature, look at predatory animals and look at prey animals. Which one is smarter and stronger? The predatory animals are. Wolves are like 10 times smarter than the things that they eat. Lions are 10 times smarter. Buffalo, it's a strong animal, but it's a dumb one. You know what I mean? Like, as far as intelligence and strength goes, it's the predatory animals that are strong and smart. Anyways, I don't want to make this video too long. I gotta go do laundry. Um, Hopefully I got my points across. I gotta watch this video and see. Um, I tried to film this video multiple times, but there was just havoc going on all around me. But yeah, I'm not trying to make another half-hour video. I'm trying to get used to making kind of shorter videos because I want to broaden my audience. Um, but hopefully I got my points across. I got to watch this video. Once again, I feel like I was all over the place. Anyways, I appreciate every single one of you. Hopefully this video can help in some way. I'm not sure if it will, but um, yeah, appreciate every single one of you. I will try to make a more coherent video on the next one. Everybody have a good one.